And good Friday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Can you believe it? The weekend is here. Here we go. Right now we're sitting with a few clouds and 63 this morning as you begin your day. Hope it's doing well for you as we all get together and begin this. Sunshine is expected over the weekend. We can't beat that, can we? Be able to do a lot more than we've done in the past with all this rain we've had up until now. We've had been blessed this week, so to speak. Let's go ahead and pull up radar this morning and give you a sneak peek at what is going on across the state and the nation as we turn to Marine Honda radar. Take a quick look here. All looks well here. Now, there is a smidgen of a chance that you could encounter some fog today in our area. Right now, radar picking up in northern Mississippi, due north of Tupelo, Corinth area there. Right across the state line into Tennessee, we are showing a little bit of fog. And then out to our west there, Texas, Nacogdoches, getting a little bit of fog this morning. As always, Knoxville and those areas up through Charleston, West Virginia, thick fog. Even up at Wheeling. Look at that. Canton, Ohio got a little bit as well. Out in Kansas, some showers. Utah as well. Grand Junction, it's got a little bit of both. Now, as we look to Florida, well, there's a lot going on down here. We do have showers on the east and west coast of Florida. As we watch all of this as, well, more and more develops. As she's sitting here this morning, Fiona, not sure where the donkey is, but it is headed that direction. But as you'll look at these spaghetti models, it looks to go, and there's only two that's showing it it'll get closer to the coast. Most are pinpointing that this is going to turn and go east and follow the coastline up and not actually make landfall. We hope it stays that way. Still early. As we look at everything this morning, we're pulling Tropical Storm Fiona at 52 miles an hour. It does have gusts of 63 miles an hour, wind moving west at 15 miles an hour. That was all clocked this morning. That's where we are on the tropical storm issue. We do hope it stays that way. Well, as always, there's much that goes on in our community and across the state from one day to the next. And we start out with what we know today. We're investigating some possible break-ins overnight. I'll have to get official word on that here in just a little bit. But we did get word from Clarke County as we officially, and let's pull this up here, Chief Deputy Barry White let us know and what happened there. Oh, I done something wrong. Imagine that. Let's see here, F11. Let me hit that. Here we go. As we look at this, these two were arrested for a stolen car. They are now in the Clarke County Jail there in Quitman, Mississippi, as Jonathan Whitaker was charged with motor vehicle taking. Of course, that's theft. His bond set at $25,000. And the young lady, Christina Vincent, also on a $10,000 bond. They took the car there from the area there in Bassick City on Tuesday night. They were picked up as they were doing bad things on the coast there. They're in jail now, taking care of things in Clarke County. That's good to know. As we look around, we did have a few gunshots reported last night. Nothing major that I'm aware of, but we did have shots as we pull this up, reported on 38th Avenue. Let's take a look at this. No damage was reported with this or injury, which is good news. This is going to be just close to Royal Road, as we've seen a lot of activity in that neighborhood, in those areas there, north of Highland Park. We see that quite often, of gunshot in those areas there. And again, if you live in that area and you're kind of tired of it, get in touch with your city council person. Let them know you're not at all fond of it. We did have a little fender bender on Poplar Springs Drive yesterday. So a few folks banged up there, right near 40th Street, real close to where Heritage Apartments is. As we take a look here, we pull this up this morning, and the police car on the scene. Let's zoom this up a little bit there as they're investigating the accident that happened there. Again, that's at 40. We're close to Poplar Springs United Methodist Church. No major. Now, what we do need still at this moment, there's so many of you that have contacted me, and I wish I knew more. I have touched base with people that are with the family several times. As we all know, there was a horrible accident in southern Lauderdale County yesterday. And we pulled this up to take a look. This is Acock Road. As we found out that there was a head-on collision yesterday, involved two cars. The scene was, there's no other way to word this than just catastrophic, awful of what went on. Now, we do not know at this time what has caused the wreck. I believe the Mississippi Highway Patrol even came in to help out with this, of recreating the wreck to help out. What we do know is all parties were taken to Jackson for medical care. Some airlifted. Now, with this being said, and we just have to be honest of what we know now, there was a 1-year-old child in the car. It was in a baby seat. The child was injured. Very, very serious condition as we pray. And it's going to take absolute prayer to help with this, from all understanding to everybody that's talked to me about this. 1-year-old, but just turned 1, I think 6 days ago. We cannot send enough prayers to both of these families. This is tragedy, and we certainly hope that this has a great outcome. We don't know anymore. I'll be checking as much as I can this morning before we start the next show at 8 to see if we have any new information on this. But if you can, and as we all know, prayer does help, and this family does need this for this small child, this baby, 1-year-old that was involved in the accident yesterday. Again, we do not know at this point what caused it. We just know that it was a very, very serious wreck as the volunteer fire departments arrived, sheriff's department, all that worked the scene. We send prayers to that family because they definitely need it. As we look around, we talked about this yesterday. This is still out there somewhere near Cricket Road, Highway 19. We did have the theft of a 4-wheeler. If you've happened to see this, let me pull this back up. Make sure to spread the word about this. Get in touch with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department should you see this. This is a 2014 model Honda. People taking what they want, and we just can't have that. Let's get those responsible for this brought to justice in our area. So many of you out there. Good morning, Laura. I do appreciate that. Denise Covenant, good morning. Praying for the survivors and the family there. Sheila, how are you feeling today? James Gully is up. Good morning from Detroit. Oh, boy, that's a long ways off. Detroit City. Bobby Bear sang about that, didn't he? Yep, I'm certain of it. Becky Vickers, how are you doing? Beautiful weather in Gatlinburg. I'm a little bit jealous there. Gatlinburg is such a beautiful place to be, especially as have the leaves begin to change. This ought to be about the time that it starts in the fall, in September, there in the mountains. Just beautiful weather. So many of you watching from different areas. We appreciate that. And always, thanks for letting us know where you're watching from. Now, as we start looking around the state of Mississippi this morning of things that have gone on, we do see where 3 teens tried to outrun the law. It all started in Pearl. They had a traffic stop, as they all do, checkpoint. They turned around and took off. Well, the police began pursuit. They were caught. They did use the pit maneuver on them. No one was hurt, thankfully, but off to jail they go. And as you all know, there's always a reason why you run. We're still investigating all of that. Now, we talked about this yesterday morning as we go to Brookhaven, which is south of South Mississippi. A young lady was going down the road, and she was struck by a bullet. She was killed. As it turns out, she was an innocent person hit by a stray bullet. Tragedy when things like this happen, and the police chief is begging citizens, because as we all know, talk begins, especially in small towns, of no street justice. Let the law handle the situation. We often see that in our area, whether you realize what some of these things that go on in our neighborhood or not, that would be classified as street justice. It happens every night. We do urge people in that area there to let the law handle this. Emotions run high in situations like this, and someone's life was taken innocently, and we certainly hope that everything remains calm. The worst of the worst news that I could tell you, as we look to this, as we go to Northern Mississippi, Iuka. Y'all know where that is? Northern Mississippi at the top of the state. A babysitter has been arrested. Why? A 2-year-old child died while she was babysitting. Multiple bruises. Also, another small child had bruises as well. The 2-year-old passed away while she was babysitting. She has been arrested and most likely going to be charged with murder. Full investigation is underway again. That's Iuka, where that happened. Always be cautious. Never let anybody babysit your children that you don't know personally or somebody else that knows them. It's not worth the risk. I would never suggest answering an ad that somebody has that you don't know. I think the girl was 23 years old. Can never bring that child back, can they? State Farm has quietly settled a lawsuit with the state of Mississippi over Katrina. How many years has that been now? 16 years. That's settled Not a lot of details being told on that as we look at that. I've never been to any of these reserves in the state of Mississippi, but the Mississippi Department of Wildlife is going to be creating, pretty neat here, at 2 of the reserves, a senior citizens hunt this year. This will include the Phil Brightland, which I honestly didn't know there was such a place. That's news to me. It's Sequina County and also Warren County, Mahana. Both of those areas there. No word yet on the dates of when that will happen, but looks to be. I didn't know Phil had one named after him. Pretty neat there, isn't it? 2 men were airlifted after a shooting in Durant, Mississippi. Let's hope they recover from their wounds of what happened there as well. We also see that, do y'all remember last week when most of us glanced at Facebook and saw this live feed coming from Memphis, Tennessee, of a guy that was riding around just filming, doing random shootings? Do y'all remember that? Well, they've arrested a man in Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta, Greenville area, as a matter of fact, that was threatening to do the same thing. He was taken down and arrested. He didn't do anything, but he made the threat. He might as well, you have to take these serious. Law enforcement does. He's been arrested. That is good news. As we look down to South Mississippi, of a few things going on, the mayor, Natchez, not happy with animal control. Why would that be? Well, he says one thing, they say one the other. The city of Natchez gives $25,000 to the animal control shelter. He says that the dog catcher, more or less, has tried to give them a few dogs, and they won't take them because they're at full capacity. The other people say, well, he's not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It costs $24,000 a month to operate it. They're at full capacity, and they say they hadn't been turning down animals. We don't know the truth there, but it is sad. We have so many pets that need adoption throughout the state of Mississippi. We have it here locally. And I urge you, if you're watching me and if you need a new best friend, there's nothing better than a pet. A dog will like you when nobody else does. Even when you don't like yourself, they still like you. You can leave the room and they come back and they're all happy again to see you. Try it sometime. They're good. They're a man's best friend. There's a lot to that being said there. Remember the guy who stole the plane, Tupelo, Mississippi? Yeah, he appeared in court. He has not been granted anything. He is still no bond, been sitting there, and he's going to be charged with several different things. Faces federal charges of destruction of an aircraft and threats of destruction with an aircraft. Pretty serious things. This is a federal crime. We will see where this heads next as to what's going to happen to him. Of course, his lawyers are saying he needs to be mentally examined. Is that going to be their ploy to get out? We don't know. We'll watch this. A woman has been arrested. She's from Tennessee. She was driving a man that was missing his truck. He was found later by loggers in the road. She's now been arrested for murder. Family said that I think it was an online dating app where they were going to meet, and he's passed away now. She's being charged with murder. Always be careful with what you do with people you don't know. And we don't know all the details there. There's probably tons more. But that's a synopsis of what happened. Always be leery of anything that sounds too good to be true. I urge that. I hope you will as well. Let's see here. We talked about that. Let's see what else is going on. As we look at this, one thing as we watch this, did you realize that the United States, as we look at the big picture of this, is going to be passing along more money to Ukraine? Yeah, I want to say, let me see here how much this is. I want to say it's $600 million has been approved. Yeah, $600 million more military aid. Now, this comes 1 week after we sent $2.9 billion. How many wars can we finance? How much more can the United States taxpayer handle? What are we at? 31 trillion? Am I right? How do we keep functioning? You really, really have to pay attention. It's just like your budget at home. If you spend more than you've got, you eventually get into trouble. I'm concerned. I hope you are too. As we watch this war with Ukraine, as you'll remember, it's been going on for years here in the United States. They basically have paid the farmer not to work, not to grow food in the United States. They planted trees. Y'all remember all that? CPR program, very little food is grown here. It's grown in other parts of the world, Ukraine being one of those. Can't get the ships out because of the war. Could cause a food shortage. I urge everybody that watches us in the United States that has a hand in anything, well, to start manufacturing, doing things again in America to where we're independent. We need that. You never know what tomorrow holds. And I really and truly think that most people agree with me on this. Isn't it bad when you can't get a part for your washing machine or your tractor? Why? Because it's not made in America anymore. Nothing is. It's all made in some other foreign country, and we have to wait for a ship to bring it. They can tax that, and prices go up. We need it to where our friend Fred or Joe down the road makes that part. What happened to General Electric? Let's bring all of that back. I think it would be better for our country. Well, that's my little tidbit on raising Cain this morning, but I think a lot of Americans do agree with me on that. They're having a fit at Martha's Vineyard. Have y'all been watching this? As Ron DeSantis has only flown 50 people there. Ken Burns, one of those that has jumped up and just said it's just awful, comparing it to horrible things that happened in history. And remember, it's 50 people that have landed there that are immigrants, that are illegal, floating around, just 50 people among the rich, and they're acting like it's the biggest chaos they've ever seen. Well, it's doing exactly what they thought it would. Imagine how many come across our border there in Texas, Arizona, along there. It's horrible, and a lot of politicians and people that have no idea what really goes on are against things and for things that they shouldn't be until they get a taste of their own medicine. We'll wait and see if this all makes a difference as more and more buses are taken to New York City and other parts of the country. We'll wait and see, won't we? We'll hope it has a good outcome. Governors are getting smart, Lonnie said, and I agree with that. They are. They truly are. It's almost like a chess game now. We have so many people that make the laws for us that truly have no idea how America really runs. And that's what's sad. Roll up your sleeve. Go spend a day. Do like Mike Rowe. Go do a dirty job for a day. Go to your people, your how do you word it, constituents in your district. Learn what they do to make a living. And that way you represent them. So many times that politicians just truly don't know. And then on the other hand, I know plenty that have been elected that really and truly are there for the benefit. But we've got some in our bigger states across the United States that just don't have a clue. All right, we've talked enough about that. We're going to talk about weather here in just a second. As we begin today, it is Friday. We're not all that long off from fall. We'll talk about that when Candace comes in this morning. All that kicks off at 8 a.m. I do hope you'll hang around and look for all that. We got that forecast next as we'll take a deeper look at what we expect over the weekend and hopefully fall coming. Aren't y'all excited about it? I am. Y'all stay with us.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, Mississippi, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been operating for over 10 years and boasts over 30 vendors with a rotating inventory to fit that something you're looking for. Inventory is constantly updating, so there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located on 335 West Main Street in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, or conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. It's here, the Fall Sweet Pea Swap, located at the old Jeffries Building at Bonita Lakes. Drop-offs will be held September the 8th through the 10th. The public sale gets underway September 16th and 17th from 10 in the morning until 7 at night. Then again Sunday, September the 18th from 1 until 6 with 25% off. And our final day, Monday, September the 19th with 50% off from 10 until 7 p.m. Make sure to come by the most talked about event all year, the Fall Sweet Pea Swap at the old Jeffries Building, Bonita Lakes. Before long, we're going to be adding a new feature to this. As I've always stand for and I believe in, and I do believe that each of us need a little spiritual guidance as we begin our days. Before long, we're going to start a sort of a moment there, a minute each day of a little devotion. We'll add that to this show each day. Get us all kind of going in the right direction. Y'all remember that song Don Williams had, Lord, I hope this day is good? Well, we'll try to start it off on a good note. We got that coming in a few weeks, and I look forward to that. It'll be a big addition. I hope you'll like it. I love your feedback on things of that nature as we add more to this each and every day. We've got a lot of big plans. I'll try to get the staff to work things out and add to what we do for you each day here. Thanks a bunch there. All right, let's get into our forecast and look closer at what we've got today.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
That's where I'm supposed to come back, isn't it? Yeah. All right, let's pull this up and get going. I glanced off there for just a moment. Sorry about that. As we look at our record highs and our record lows of this day, 1980, that was a hot year. 101 today. As we look back for that record low, it was back in the 60s. 1961, we had a low of 48 on this day. Chilly morning, wasn't it? It's not bad today. As I mentioned a while ago, we're sitting at 63 right now. Ooh, I like that. Now, as we get ready for today, we're looking at our highs today as we move up. 87, 88 in our area. Depending upon where you are, it could go one way or the other. But that'll travel all the way through Philadelphia, up through Columbus. Maybe seeing 88 around Mississippi State and through Louisville. It'll be really close to that. As we go south, Hattiesburg about 89, and same in Natchez, Mississippi. As we cut across and go east to Bama, let's look over at campus there in Livingston. Looks like to be 87 as well. Birmingham, a tad cooler at 86. And as we go south, temperatures warm up a little bit more. Selma, Montgomery, looking at 88, even down to Troy and down toward Dothan, Alabama. As we look at what's going to be happening over the next 6 to 10 days, here we go. It's getting warmer, isn't it? Even though fall is around the corner. Above average temperatures for us here in Mississippi is what we're showing. Out west, maybe a cool front will make its way toward Arizona and these areas, Nevada. We'll watch this closely, see if it makes its way toward Mississippi. Now, let's get into our 7-day forecast as what we promised of, well, how's the weather going to be? As we look today, again, patchy fog could happen for you today, somewhere between now and 8 o'clock. Otherwise, 86, 87. In some areas in our region, it's going to make 88. But for the most part, 86 to 87. Down tonight, again to 63 as we look to tomorrow. Look at this, 0% chance of rain for the next week. Isn't it wonderful? 87 there. We'll be begging for rain before long, won't we? As we look to Sunday, 88 as you get out of church. It'll be great there, 67 for that low. And we'll remain in the 60s all the way to Wednesday night when we will tap 70. But we start seeing by Tuesday, temperatures escalating, 91, 92, right above there. Not bad weather, though. Let's go ahead and look again through September the 30th as October is right around the corner, and we see those temperatures in the upper 80s, tapping 90 still. 93 on the 23rd. We'll see again on further down in the month, 84. By the 30th, we're back down to 82 as we see a dip, and that's what we see out west there, making that cool front come through. That 80-degree weather, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, is it? If we could always keep it somewhere between 74 to 80, I'd be happy, wouldn't y'all? Not going to happen in Mississippi, though. We all know that. Now, as we go back to take a look at the tropics of what's going on, and I didn't change this, so I meant to change it, and I just didn't fix what I was supposed to do. We're looking at Fiona. Let's go back to radar since I didn't do what I was supposed to do on my chart here. Let's pull up radar and take a look at this. Let's go back over here. A little flaw in the slaw, as they say. Let's go back to this and look at what we do have here coming in from radar this morning. Again, it's sitting here this morning. We're still looking at a tropical storm sitting at 52 miles an hour, gust of 63, and it does look like it will take that northern turn and miss the coast. Now, we're still early on this. The Dominican Republic and these areas here will most likely have some warnings issued for them as it comes near there. It's going to be a lot of rain. Haiti, these areas here. And we'll watch all of this on the Cuba side as we watch closely to see what happens. We do have another storm that is starting to develop off the coast of Africa. It's only about a 20% chance at this point. Nothing new. We'll watch that to make sure nothing happens with it. Now, on the west, we do have right here, moving up through Mexico, we do have Lester, which is a tropical storm out there, moving along at 40 miles an hour. Another disturbance here that will keep pretty much away from land. Nothing major in our area. The Gulf still good as we move into hurricane season. Not over yet. Let's don't think that we've passed everything because it's not over. Still something could happen as we watch these each day. What's going to happen with the fishing? Well, let's go to Chet's Paint Body to find out what the best times are. Today we see that a minor time is at 6 a.m. Your second time to go out and fish will be this afternoon. About 1:30, let's go ahead and call it to 3 o'clock. Get some good fishing in. Also, the wind's going to be light east-northeast wind, becoming east 5 to 10 this morning if you've got to be out there with your fishing hooks. Be careful with all that. Now, school buses are going to be rolling throughout the area here in a moment. We urge you to always pay attention. Never touch your phone. Accidents happen with that. It's easy to turn off the edge of the road, lose control. We know how that works. We just want everybody to be safe. Watch the kids as they load buses today. It's no matter where you're watching me from, there's a kid getting on a bus, whether you're in the state of Mississippi, Colorado, wherever it may be. That's what's precious. Those grandkids and children, y'all all know that. We want to keep them as safe as we can. Well, good morning there, Kathy Wright. Glad to see you're up and at it. Good to see you there. As we see so many, Pat and Jim Coker up today. Let's see here. Diane Hill said that if a sewing factory was still around, older women could still be able to work. You're true. And do y'all remember that when we had all of that manufacturing here? Was it called May Webb? Am I right? Webb? Something like that. And then all of our small town, Stonewall, all of those areas had these factories. Boy, we could sure use America back again. We almost had that, didn't we? We did. And the president kind of believed in what we did, America, and making it strong, putting jobs back in the hands of Americans. We need that. Let's hope that one day that does occur, that we'll get somebody at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that does want America to work again, make it strong to where we're independent from the world and we don't have to rely on anyone else. Keep those fingers crossed. Maybe one day. Well, that's going to wrap it up for now. We'll be back in an hour and 2 minutes from now. We'll be back live with that 8 a.m. show. As I always invite you to be a part of this by sharing the show, joining us on YouTube. If you hadn't followed us on that, subscribe, follow it, so you'll be notified as well there. And for all of the folks that watch us each and every day here at Facebook, thank you. We even have a little thing called Twitter. We'll be live on television as well. If you want to see it on the big screen in your home, Fox 30 is where we'll be in 1 hour from now. Candace is coming in. We'll see you then. Thank y'all. God bless, and we'll see you soon here at the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: